I haven't.
Put it on this side since we're talking this way.
See, I always do it the
That's
wrong
okay.
way.
It's all good.
That's why you're here.
And I like your ring too.
Thank you.
To get.
I found my ring too, so I got new glasses and I found my wedding ring. No, my kids lost it.
Oh.
It was missing for a year and a half.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
I thought it was bad when I lost my wedding album.
So you get a little sneak peek behind the scenes what's happening here as we're getting ready to start. So I think we're ready.
We're ready.
It's Tuesday. Nobody's as sick as they were last week.
Exactly.
So Run It Studios presents Inspiring New Growth with Trina and
Michele.
And this is Networking in the 417.
Exactly.
So we've been networking. Have you been networking?
I've been networking.
I mean, besides last week, I had to take a little time off. So
because you were sick.
yeah,
That happens.
it's not fun.
I've been networking.
Good.
Mhm.
How's it going?
It's going really well. You know, I've been having to go and I get to go talk about the concert. I'm having to go. I get to go talk about the concert. So I've been to a lot of different meetings. Last week, because we weren't able to do this, I went to the Tuesday chapter.
Nice.
In Rogersville.
Yes. How was it? Tell me about it. I've heard it's like the cutest venue.
I am telling you, it is the cutest venue. They have the best coffee. Oh. And so it's Empire Coffee in Rogersville. And it's inside a boutique.
Neat.
So it's at the back of the boutique.
I love that.
And they have a French pastry chef
Ooh.
who makes their pastries. Like, he's actually French. I don't mean he's just trained. He's actually a
French.
French pastry chef. You know, sort
in
of like our friend
Rogersville.
in Italian Kitchen.
Yes. Alessandro is a real Italian chef.
He is a real Italian chef. That's right.
He doesn't just play one on TV.
That's right. He's a real one. Who's in Italy right now.
He is. If you don't follow Italian Kitchen, check them out. They've got some beautiful pictures of Italy. They're getting inspired right now, so
Oh, where they
go see what they're
pictures
doing.
Of Italy? All I saw was food.
Oh,
I'm
the
just kidding.
pizza! I did see.
know. He just did one on. He just did a TikTok where it's food flipping in and out of the picture. And
I
I
know.
was going to bed last night, and I'm sitting in bed.
You're like hungry.
I'm like, are you kidding me, Alex?
Give us a break.
I know, right? Right.
And just to remind you, if you are watching and have a chance to let us know who you are, your business, and what chapter you are a member of. If you are a member of ING, we'd love to know and say hi and give you a shout out.
That's right. And if you aren't, it's still okay to say hi.
It's still okay to say hi and maybe,
You're learning about stuff.
yeah, if you're learning or wanting to join, we'd love to have you.
Yeah.
So we also can't be amiss. We are still at Vino for today. We're in a different room, but I'd let you see got a little different setup. So
They have a great little meeting room here.
they do. They have a very cool atmosphere. Little
like the
meeting
vibe.
room. Yeah, it's a nice vibe. And so you've got a list of events that they've got coming up.
I do. So, I was just informed that the two closest events coming up are full. They're already booked
nice.
out.
Good
So,
for them.
April 26th at 6 p.m., they have the Sip and Savor experience. It's Spanish paella and tapas.
Nice.
I think I would like that. Is there something talking to us there?
I was trying to see.
It's Billy.
Oh, Billy. Billy is
Watching us.
Billy is going to join us in a few minutes on camera.
And then on April 30th, they have their Iron Somme Battle for Piedmont Vieti versus Vajra. I think I'm saying that right.
I won't know the difference.
Vajra. V-A-J-R-A. That's not one I've heard. Vieti. Yes, I know that one. But I don't know the other one. And then starting in May, they have Brunching Around the World, the Italian Countryside.
Wow.
And that's at 10:30 on May 3rd. Yeah.
Cool.
So, if you wonder why I'm looking over here, we actually have a studio audience today.
Yeah, we've got guests over here. We've got Rhonda Friend, who will be joining us, and Billie Wiegand with Mountain Pine Studios.
I need to hold up my applause sign. And then Vino still has their wine flight. You get your little boarding pass when you come in, and you choose 4 wines to try. And then the one that you like the most, you can purchase, and you get, any of them, actually. You get 10% off of any take-home bottle from your flight. So if you wanted all 4 of them, you could do that.
Yep.
So you get to try them, and then take them home so that you can have them.
And then you might have mentioned this another time, but I just heard you saying they have live music sometimes.
They do have live music sometimes. If you go to their Facebook or their website, Vino Cellars, then you will see who they have listed. But yes, they do frequently have, usually I think it's on Thursdays or Fridays. They have, maybe sometimes Saturdays, but they have musicians out in the main area.
Neat.
It's really neat. I tell you, if you have not been here in the afternoon or evening sphere, did we?
It went out, but it's back.
It always goes away when I'm talking. I'm beginning to wonder about that. So if you haven't been to Vino in the afternoon or evenings, you really should come. It's such a fun little neighborhood atmosphere.
Yeah.
People are sitting everywhere. You know, they have tables, they have chairs like we're sitting in right now, little comfy spots. And we came one night to listen to Isaac Kenneth. He was here. And it was really full. And these people just had chairs sitting next to them, like, come sit at our table with us.
Oh,
so,
nice.
Yes, and it's really like that. It's kind of just a nice, friendly little neighborhood spot, and the wine is incredible. So, yeah.
Very good. And he's going to be performing at the Joe Rickman Memorial, or
He's
see?
not this year.
Okay.
No Isaac
Sorry.
Kenneth. Somebody got to him before I did.
Allie Hutzel, though.
Allie Hutzel.
And I heard you say she's performed here before.
Yes, she has. Allie and Grace have performed here. So Allie and the Cats that are performing at the Joe Rickman Memorial concert, they also have, Allie also has, she does individual entertainment, and then she has a duo that's Allie and Grace. They actually have small ensembles, so they can bring in any of the band members and do just a smaller version, and then they have the band.
Cool.
And so the band is who is playing at the concert.
Cool. Good time now that the weather's getting warmer, which is another good time to start branching out and checking out other networking groups,
really
or
is.
maybe different chapters in the alumni or ING. InspiringNewGrowth.com. You can see all of the chapters there. But, you know, I know a lot of times people, when it's cold, just hibernate. You don't want to get out. And then the next thing you know, it's like, oh, it's time to do business, and I need to network.
And you know, when I was in sales, the big months we talked about were the J months. Those are the hardest months, January, June, and July. And so if you want to turn that, or they don't have to be, that just tends to be how they go, because, you know, January is after Christmas, and June is the beginning of summer vacations, and July is hot. So, well, I guess it depends on where you live. Like in Alaska, I guess July is not hot, but generally those are summer vacation times, and so for a lot of salespeople, sometimes those are the hard times. So I always recommend for people, if you haven't been networking, jumping in like right now and making those connections could really increase the rate of ideal clients that you're connecting with.
Yeah.
And then you won't have to worry about those J months.
Yeah. Well, we're already in April. So next month, a lot of seniors will be graduating. Some probably already have their senior pictures, but some may not. And so I think now's a good time to talk to Billie about getting that kind of thing scheduled, and weddings, proms, all that stuff.
I think you're right. So if you're wondering about how to choose a great photographer, we happen to have one who's coming in here to talk on videography. So so I'm going to do like we did before. I'm going to scooch out and go drink my wine, and I'm going to give, here, where is it?
The mic,
always looking for my mic. I'm going to give my mic to Billie.
When we get a bigger budget one day, we'll have more mics. But until then, we're going to have to do this. So again, networking is how I met Billie, who did my headshots and branding photos. And I am one of those very picky people. I don't like how I look in half the pictures that I take. But instead of disliking the majority, I loved the majority that you, Billie Wiegand with Mountain Pine Studios, did of my pictures. Welcome.
Hi, how are you?
I am good. So tell me a little bit about how you got into networking.
Oh boy.
Oh boy. Because your business is still on the young side, right?
Yes, April will be the start of year 3 for us.
Okay, so
we started in October of 2019. My husband was the founder of the company. He had asked for help in really April of 2021, and I was working a full-time job with a nonprofit teaching entrepreneurship to kids. And a year year later, we found out we were pregnant with our second, and I had no health insurance.
Oh.
So that was one of the factors of really reflecting on life. I'm like, hey, I probably do need to take a step back. Like, I was having that mom guilt of not really being there with my firstborn and just being like, I don't want to miss those moments.
Mm-hmm.
So I took a step back from being a full-time worker, and we were in a position where we still needed 2 incomes. So I took on photography really because I had to.
Mm-hmm.
And it kind of goes back to my personal life, like growing up, like I didn't want to do photography. I really didn't. I had a family member who loved it and they were actually good at it. I'm like, this reminds me of them. But later on down the road, when I really started to network, I started building the relationship and those connections. And I was like, actually, I get to meet really cool people.
Mm-hmm.
And I get to capture some pretty awesome stories. Like working with you, working with Alessandro. Like, I got to be part of that journey. And that's whenever I started falling in love with photography. I'm like, I really do capture that still moment. And that's kind of projected me to where I'm at now.
What's one of your favorite things about capturing those moments?
I enjoy just being authentic, being genuine. I have a session coming up where a friend of mine actually reached out. I'm like, hey, I'm kind of down in the dumps. Can we do something fun? Can we do something exciting? I'm like, and I asked her, I'm like, you mean kind of like an empowerment session? And I had to explain what that was. And she's like, yes, that's exactly
neat.
what I want. So we have on the books right now a session that is a fantasy book theme. So there's different locations I know of, like we all stock different locations, the photographers do. And so there's these spots I've wanted to try out. I'm like, hey, why don't you help me help you kind of situation, and let's make it all happen.
Mm-hmm.
And more importantly, we focus on you and building up the confidence, seeing the inner beauty that's in you. So I am just absolutely excited, and I'm so happy I'm at the point in my business where I'm like, I absolutely love what I do.
Yeah.
I love the people and just the raw emotions that happen not only in front of the lens but behind the lens as well.
Yeah, well, and one of the things I know you love getting are those candid shots. And a posed photo's great, that's fine, but nothing is more special than getting that giggle from the bride or the glance from the groom that just really is such a memory to have. And for you to be able to capture those, that's pretty special.
I love it. I love weddings. I love events so much. They're just fun. The commercial and the consumer side event photography is just incredible because it's like whenever someone thinks of consumer event photography or videography, they think of weddings.
Yeah.
And I love weddings because there are so many emotions you go throughout the day, some good, some bad, but you get to capture it all.
Yeah.
And then on the commercial side too, you still have those same kind of emotions. They're just presented in different ways, and I just love capturing those moments.
So what would example for some of us that don't know the commercial side of it as well as when you're saying a wedding, I can picture that, but what would that be like?
So a good example would be an award night.
Okay.
I've worked with an organization local in Springfield where they were presenting a huge, massive award to people who are part of their organizations, and there's things like, MVP, newcomer, things like that. And what's awesome about that organization is there's different levels of people who participate. There's some that are just like 3 to 5 business owners, and there's some that are like 500 plus.
Right.
So seeing like the smaller side too, just being excited that they got that award. I'm like, this is such a huge accomplishment. I'm like, I'm just over the moon that I get to see that emotion, get to see them be proud of their work, and I get to take the picture.
That's really cool. Now, one of the things I think a lot of us don't always know is the exact timeline when we do have an event. Like, how far ahead do we need to plan for senior pictures, for prom pictures, for a wedding, for an event? I mean, I'm sure they're all a little bit different and depending on the size. So what, to respect your time and your best work as a photographer, how much time should we give you for certain events?
It depends how elaborate the event is.
Okay.
If it is something like a wedding, if it is a small, like an elopement, less than a month typically I can go with, because elopements are usually between 1 to 2 hours, and then you get into that territory of micro weddings, which they're all distinct and different. If you're thinking about the commercial side of it, a little bit more than a month, probably about 6 weeks, because one of the things I like to do is I like to look at the venue, I like to look at the schedule, know who's speaking, who's presenting, how many vendors there are, because I capture not only just the speakers and I capture the vendors too, both candid and pose as well.
Yeah.
So it depends how elaborate. I think the most time I ever needed was probably for a wedding that was over 200 people.
Oh, wow.
And it's just family.
Yeah.
Whenever it comes to wedding photography, the family session is the hardest part.
Yeah. Yeah. From people that are, I think I even saw on one of your TikTok videos, a lot of people don't like having their picture taken. Mm-hmm. So what can we do to be more relaxed, more excited, and more confident when we're coming to you to help you get the best picture of us?
Yeah. One of the things I do at the beginning of the session is like, hey, my job is to make sure you're having a positive experience, that you're having fun. If you are not having fun, your photos don't even have a chance to do well. So I start building the relationship prior. I have them get to know me a little bit. If it's something where I know I'm going to need videography services, I try to drag my husband along, his introverted soul, have him come and, just show them that we're human. And I tell people too, like, hey, I hate getting my picture taken. Mm-hmm. I absolutely despise it. But do you know what I don't hate? I don't hate the interaction I have with my photographer.
Yeah.
Because the one that took my picture is my assistant. And I'm so excited for her to come on board and help me with some of the bigger projects I have in mind. But she was the one that took my picture. And it was because I was coaching her, like, hey, heads up, I like this about myself. I like... this is going to sound stupid, and saying it on Facebook Live doesn't help. But one of the things, no, seriously, I like my ears. I think I have super cute ears.
You do have super cute ears. And that's okay.
And that's why I tell her, like, hey, the thing I need you to make sure is that my hair is pulled back so you can see my ears. Because back in the day, I used to have a bunch of piercings. Now I don't. And it was so fun to show them up. And I kind of do that the same thing with people. Like, I'll compliment eyes or, like, cute little nose or something like that. Just something to encourage and really start building confidence. Because really that's what it comes to when it's a session. People aren't sure how to be posed, how to be directed. There's not a lot of communication between the photographer and the client. And the creativity on the fly is super important.
Yeah.
Because what you think might work before the session even starts doesn't actually work until you meet them. And so you have to plan very quickly on, like, okay, this is going to be more flattering, or this, and just making the session just fun, and reminding them that they are beautiful as they are, that they're they're awesome, and inspire that.
Yeah, very good. Now, something I've learned from you and from watching what people are asking for on social media, so many people ask for a term that I didn't know until, like I said, a few months ago, was minis.
Oh.
Or, all of these small sessions. I mean, can you break down some of the things that people are asking for that you offer when it comes to a photography interaction?
Yeah. So I'm glad, because there's not only just minis, there's also extendeds.
Okay.
So extended sessions happen more in the fall and the holiday seasons, just because families coming together. It's mainly in family photography that you'll see that happen. You have 15 or more members for an extended session, because that's the time when everyone's together and they want a nice picture done. Now minis is the opposite. Minis, they just want a few photos, short amount of time. They don't want a whole lot of pressure.
Wardrobe changes, all that,
they don't want wardrobe changes. They don't have to worry about traveling. They just want easy, convenient, and affordable.
Okay.
And that's what you'll see across a lot of the boards, is that minis tend to be a lower rate versus an extended. But also you got to remember that extended are longer sessions. My extended is typically 2 to 2.5 hours, depending how many people are there. And I'll let clients know too. I'm like, hey, this session is probably more recommended. It's like maybe 10 people versus 12 or more. So,
do you have anything coming up that everyone needs to know about?
So one of my partners is the American Heart Association.
Yes.
The Go Women team, who are a phenomenal group of ladies. We have a heart walk coming up on June 7th. That's the first Saturday. From 9 a.m. till 12. Come, see some vendors. I'm going to be there. And taking pictures and be part of the walk.
Sounds great. Where can people go to see your work, check out your portfolio, to see if you're the right fit for them?
So easiest way is to go to mountainpinestudios.com. It has my full portfolio available. It also has a part of the page where you can just send me a message directly, or you can check my work on Facebook as well at Mountain Pine Studios.
Sounds good. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
All right, be sure to check out. If you have any questions, you can drop them in the comment section and we'll get back to you. Do you have any questions over there? Over there? No? Oh, thank you. Thank you. Rhonda Friend up next. She's going to talk some skincare with us, which, I mean, have you seen the videos about how girls are starting younger and younger with their skincare? Which, I mean, I guess it's always good to start young. I remember using moisturizer before I even used real makeup. I used Noxzema. Do you remember Noxzema?
Yes. My grandma smelled like Noxzema.
I love the smell. And
it does seem like girls are starting way young.
Yeah. Is that a good thing or a bad thing in your opinion?
So I'm pretty passionate about this because I think I love the question, first of all. Thanks for having me.
Yes.
But I think that to start a routine is really key and it's very important. However, I think when you jump into resveratrol and you jump into some of the harder, like retinol, I just do not think that is necessary for somebody that's under 20 years old. And so under 20 years old, you know, there are skincare systems that are friendly, gentle, to just establish a routine. Right? And cleanliness, because your skin can actually harbor 7 years of debris and dead skin cells. Right?
7 years
of debris and dead skin cells. So it is very important to have a good routine. It's just necessary no matter what the age, right?
So let's talk about you for a second. How long did it take you to really, have you always been great taking care of your skin?
So I've always been, you know, since I turned 12 and I started wearing makeup, I just always took my makeup off at night.
Me too. That was one of the things Mom said, don't you wear that to bed. And I couldn't even wear very much anyway, but it was like, wash your face before bed.
Absolutely. And I think cleansing is so very necessary. And as I've had more birthdays, I recognize the value of cleansing your face twice a day, right? AM and PM, because of the debris buildup, pollution buildup, you know, all the things. And so, yes, I think it's very, very necessary.
How have you, especially since you got more involved with skincare and cosmetics, how have you changed your routine?
So I love that question. How have I changed my routine? So actually, this is my 6-year anniversary.
Ooh, congratulations.
Of being in Mary Kay, and that makes me thrilled. Because when I came into Mary Kay 6 years ago, I was actually finishing some dermatology care, and the dermatologist, she looked at me and she said, let me talk to you as a woman instead of a doctor for just a minute. She said, go find a Mary Kay lady. And I said, why would you say that? And she said, for the price point and for the product, it's the best bang for your buck.
Wow.
As well as you need something to defend and protect your skin. And so I took that very seriously, went and found a Mary Kay lady, and, you know, the rest is history. You know, when you find a great pair of shoes on sale and you have 3 girlfriends that absolutely love those shoes, you call them and you tell them about it. And so it was very organic the way my business was built. Thank you for asking. How has it changed? So I just think that as we have more birthdays, to add serum, to add boosters, to add retinol, that has all been an extreme eye-opening experience for me. And to see women and their skin, or people and their skin, be transformed, it's absolutely incredible.
Now, I think I know what you're going to say on this, but is the number one thing everyone needs to be doing, would that be sunscreen?
Absolutely, 100%. And so I love that there are choices with sunscreen.
Yeah.
And so choices with sunscreen go from completely 100% mineral to maybe something that's borderline, you know, that kind of in the middle of the super crunchy to the what's best for your skin, as well as the chemical driven, really super protective for your skin. And I love that we have those choices.
Now, all of those these days, aren't they all reef safe for the most part? Or
so if you read and you're careful, I would just say read.
Read, always read.
Because reef safe actually is a term that's very unregulated.
Oh, okay,
and
good.
So,
good to know.
People can claim things that aren't necessarily the truth. And so I love our company because actually we go above and beyond. We have investment like in the Gulf that has nothing to do with cosmetics because we care, right? We care about the reef and reforming the natural reef, not throwing things into the water to create artificial reef, but actually to build original organic reef.
So a quick rundown first.
Great question.
For someone that is maybe never had a routine and they're thinking it's time for me to start taking care of my skin. Let's say they're over, they're in their mid-20s or older. What should they be doing after they put on the sunscreen? Wash your face in the morning, put on sunscreen, and then what should we be doing?
Well, so I would say, basic skincare is a must. The cleanser and the moisturizer. Doesn't matter if you have super desert dry skin or if you're an oil factory. You need the moisturizer because once you cleanse your skin, your oil glands kick in and say, oh my gosh, the face is clean, and then they go into overdrive. So you actually want a good moisturizer that helps to balance your skin. So then after your moisturizer, use your sunscreen. And I would just say, if you're walking by a window in your house, I think it's wise to use sunscreen. I just think it's just a great everyday practice. And if you're a driver, it's great to put it on your right arm, but your left arm has got to have sunscreen on it every single day. That's just basic information.
Yeah. And I like that you said just because it's oily skin that you might be dealing with, that doesn't mean you don't need a moisturizer.
Absolutely.
So that's a fallacy. Okay, absolutely. All right.
Keeps your oil glands from being overactive.
And cosmetics too. Like some of us were just talking about how we don't like heavy foundation and there are BB creams. So what are some of the products that you've seen recently get really popular that people are liking and enjoying?
So a go-to for most of my clients on a regular basis is our CC cream. It's a color correcting cream. It's a moisturizer. It has our skincare in it. It's got a little bit of SPF in it. It's just a really light, airy, breathable. But everything that I present to my customers are non-comedogenic. And so for a lay person, what does that mean? That means that they're all airy and breathable. All of them are breathable. I'm not necessarily a fan of waterproof foundation. I just think, my goodness, we don't wear a plastic bag over our head for a reason, right? And so I wouldn't want, foundation on my skin that is waterproof.
Yeah.
Because it's like, suffocating your skin.
Yeah.
So all of ours are airy and breathable. We have the CC cream. We have a little bit fuller coverage cream. We have our mineral that's equal to a mineral powder that's like a setting powder, and we also have and that is a loose powder. We also have the pressed mineral powder. And so we have all kinds of choices that you can choose.
I like that today, more than ever, you can almost not find a makeup that doesn't have skincare in it. So, I mean, I've always looked for that for the longest time, but now it's more common practice. So you can be taking care of your skin while you're enhancing the way it looks.
Absolutely.
So I really like that too. So I'm glad you have that. What kind of events do you have on the horizon?
So in talking about makeup, I want to throw one more thing out there.
Yeah.
I absolutely love the new trend of the no makeup look makeup.
Yeah.
I just think that the more natural the beauty, the better. And so if you have some imperfections that you want to camouflage, that's all lovely and beautiful, but the caked on is not in. The layered on is not in. And I just love the simple look of adorned beauty, but it looks very natural.
Yeah.
So that's very attractive to me. So one of the things that I do every single year it's been for 5 years out of my 6 years in Mary Kay, is I run a Lend Me Your Confidence drive. And so I am in the midst of that right now, and I usually partner with a domestic violence shelter, which I am doing again this year. And because they do have some residents in the domestic violence shelter that have been burn victims, they have asked me this year to change our partnership with them to foundation. And so we are actually providing CC cream. And so I am inviting other business owners and friends, clients of mine, to partner with me for $15. And then that will provide one of those residents. And I know there's more than 100 residents, but my goal this year is actually 50 for my very own business, to hand them 50 of those foundations to send those women away with a product that helps to make them look natural, but maybe camouflage some of those imperfections.
Great.
And then I have events every single week. I absolutely love having events right here at my local studio. But at the end of the month, on the last Monday of the month at 6 p.m., I think it's the 28th, yes. And at 6 p.m., 6 to 7:30 p.m., we are having you can come in. I love that Billie mentioned the mini session. So we have opportunity to have a mini spa session or more of a premium spa session that evening. And I'm partnering with Jerry Mathis, and she is working with me to bring that about. And so
Jerry is the founder of ING, one of the founders. So yes, okay.
Yes, so appreciate
Good deal.
She has opened the door to that idea for all ING members or anybody in the community.
And we'll look for a Facebook event for that?
Absolutely.
All right.
Yep.
And how has networking helped your business?
It's absolutely changed my life. So because of making friendships.
Yeah.
And just like, I don't know if I ever would have met you, right? I don't know if I ever would have met Michelle. I don't know if I ever would have met Billie. And so I've formed friendships, true friendships through networking. And I'm just so, so grateful for that. Being an empty nester, you know, I was raising 4 countries. And so, you know, my hands were very full all the time. And so now just networking with other women and other partnering with other businesses, it has just been very, very beneficial for my life.
Very good.
Yeah.
Good.
And I appreciate ING. I've been in 4 different chapters. And like Michelle has mentioned before, there's always a different personality for each chapter.
Yeah.
And I have thoroughly enjoyed every single one of them. And so if you're out there and you're an entrepreneur, I would just say knock on the door of an ING chapter. You just can't go wrong.
Very good. Thanks so much. Where can people go to learn more about you and find your events?
So to learn more about me, my website is www.maryk.com/ourfriend3. And so you can learn about any of my skincare that I have available for you, as well as you can send me an email through that website. So
Sounds good.
That's a perfect place to make sure that happens.
Very good. Well, thank you for what you're doing and your commitment to helping other charities in the community. That's so cool. I love that.
Well, thank you so much. And I know that we took a vote, and we say that you get a promotion.
Thanks so much. I hope it comes with a raise.
That's right. That's right. That's right. That's right.
Thanks so much. All right. If you have any questions for Rhonda, drop them in the comments. Let us know what chapter you're with. We'll get Michelle back over here and see what's going on and go from there. Thanks, Rhonda.
Thank you.
Pass the mic. Got to pass the mic. Did I miss something with the whole promotion thing? I've missed out. I don't.
No, so remember he got a demotion? Somebody just said he got a demotion and he was a volunteer and he got demoted.
Oh, got it, yeah.
So now you get a promotion.
I'm slow today.
There you go.
It's
okay. I got you.
You got me.
So I'm going to interview Trina.
Uh-oh, what?
Everybody else.
Oh, no.
There I am.
Ah!
Going to interview Trina.
All right.
Have my hand
Here,
in
you
the pen.
can have the interview pen.
Okay. So Trina.
Yes, Michelle.
Tell us about Run It Studios. This is your baby.
It is my baby. So after years in broadcast radio, I decided I really loved interviewing people at the station, and so I wanted to do more of that. And one of the other things I wanted to do was give musicians and independent artists a platform, because even as a music director at a radio station, you don't have the control just to go, yeah, sure, I'll take your music and I'll put it on the air. It just doesn't work that way. So I wanted to have some experience in being able to provide those things for people. So I decided to see what I could do on my own, and I started an internet radio station and a podcast where I could interview more people. The idea was to put the podcast out there, video, audio, where available, which has changed even since I started 5 years ago.
Right.
and then have the internet streaming station, which would play the music, and then even the interviews, the audio. So it started out just runradio.net, but then as it evolved, which many entrepreneurs will attest to happening with their business, I thought Run It Studios would be a great way to have the overall idea, and then have runradio.net, where you can go log independent artists, and then the Run Radio podcast, which you can go wherever you get your podcasts and listen to the interviews. And the premise, at first it was kind of just interviewing the musicians, and I thought, well, there's so much going on in the community, and I don't want to tell anybody no, but how do I keep a commonality? People know what they're coming for,
Right.
but also embrace people that want to share. So I thought, running has been such a great teacher for me, the actual act of running. So I thought, well, we can literally talk about running and the running events that are going on around here, which is something Run Radio does. But then metaphorically, how you run your life, how you run your business, how you run your chronic conditions. Because so many people I know either are affected by a chronic condition or know someone that is.
Exactly.
And so I just felt like that's a good space for it. And so that's where that's all come from.
So how can business people benefit from Run It Studio? So we heard about indie artists and authors and people,
Yeah, one of the best ways that they can benefit is with podcasts being so big right now. And it's a lot to take on. And probably every business owner has either thought or been told, why don't you have a podcast? Well, it's a lot to do. So let me do it for you. I offer a Run Radio podcast for business series, which is where we sit down and talk about what you can talk about for your business, which you and I partnered, and we did a series for Michele Rickman Coaching.
Yeah.
And we will sit down and talk about if we need a 4, 5, 6 episode series for you, more or less. We cater it just for you, and where you can share what people don't know about you. Just like I was talking to Billy, so many people don't know what minis are and what you need to know and how to dress for certain things and lighting.
Exactly.
So that's a whole series in and of itself. Or with you, like we learned so much about your background and what brought you into your own and your gift for bringing out other people's talents. So, our friend we talked about, our friend Alessandro with Italian Kitchen, and he has a feature on one of the local TV stations. He didn't just start his own TV station. He is a guest on there. So instead of starting your own podcast, come be a guest on mine.
Well, I tell people this all the time. Play to your strengths.
Yeah.
And so unless you have that knowledge and background in broadcasting or technology or things like that, I just think, for me, I kept thinking, a podcast would be great. But the idea of doing it was so incredibly overwhelming. And then you said, I'm doing this podcast for business. And I was like,
Yeah.
I'm trying to do it. And I just talk.
Yeah.
That was fantastic.
Yeah.
And I have to say, that was an amazing thing for my business, because I actually got a client in Brazil.
That's so
from
cool.
that. And it's somebody I know, and he contacted me and said, hey, I was watching the podcast, and this is something I didn't realize you could do, but could we talk? Because I'm having to do a pitch and an interview with an English-speaking agency, and I'm one of the only fluent English speakers in the office.
Yeah.
Everybody else speaks Portuguese. And so he said, is that something that we could do? He said, I feel like you talked about things like that in the podcast. So I thought that was really exciting to do that. So I think that is fabulous, and such a great opportunity to even get a feel to see if a podcast is something that you would even want.
Yeah.
To do.
Yeah, absolutely. And like a lot of times you won't think, you're kind of in your own head about what you do until someone sits there and, well, how about this? Did you do this? And then you start, oh yeah, I have. And then that connects with someone that is a future client.
Right. Exactly.
So yeah, it's a great way to start. I really like setting people up for success and sharing their strengths with other people, because I feel like, kind of like you, I like seeing what makes people spark, and I like noticing that and talking about that with them.
Yes, absolutely. And sometimes you need that other person to bring that out in you. I mean,
Yeah.
we just saw those two lovely ladies get up here and be very animate and excited about the questions that you were asking them, for them to be able to talk about their passion. And that is so, it's just so beautiful to pull all that together and see people talk about that. So, and I know for our fundraising concert last year, my musicians came for interviews.
Yeah.
With you, did podcast interviews with you, and it was just so good for them. So I think that is something that people really need to know we have here.
Yeah.
You have that opportunity to have somebody help you with a podcast, to have somebody help you share your spark.
Yeah.
I love that.
For
I love
sure.
that you said that. That's really awesome.
Yeah.
I loved what both the ladies said about networking.
Yeah.
And you know, Rhonda said it changed her life. I think there are a lot of people out there who feel that way. And if networking is done right, that's the way it should be.
Yeah.
And I was just talking to Billie over there while you were interviewing Rhonda, and I was telling her what a great interview she did when she was talking, because when I first met her a few years ago, she was so shy.
Yeah.
And so nervous. And as I have watched her grow and come into her self as a photographer, it's such a gift to see that happen. And that's because of the empowerment that she's gotten out there networking. And that shift of going from I'm doing this because I'm good at it to I'm doing it because I absolutely love it.
Yeah.
I've seen that happen so many times. You know, when I first met Rhonda, she was in another business, and she liked that business. But then when I saw her move into this business, I watched her glow up.
Yeah.
In that, and the people she's able to touch, and networking allows her to really be able to do that.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think too, entrepreneurship can get lonely. And so it's nice to be amongst supportive, understanding people that get it, and they know when they can tell when you need that spark to be reignited, you know?
Absolutely. To be able to talk it through with people instead of just yourself in your office.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think that's so true too. So now I'm wondering if, as entrepreneurs, you know, you interview indie artists and authors. Maybe we're indie entrepreneurs. I don't know.
I mean, I feel like we are. Does it not feel like you have nobody backing you something?
Sometimes it does. Yeah.
I mean,
Sometimes it does.
It does.
My dog's okay to talk to in my office, but he doesn't get a lot done.
Yeah.
Yeah. Precisely. So now you can say you do indie artists and
Indie
authors
entrepreneurs.
and indie entrepreneurs.
If you're interested, I will talk to you. Let's talk about it.
That would be great.
Yeah,
I
it would be
think
great.
You could help so many people
Yeah.
get their business out there. So
Yeah, I would love to talk to some people about it. So if you're interested, reach out to me and let me know. You can contact me through the page. That's fine. So, yeah, let's talk about it.
yeah, I think that would be fantastic. So I know we have a couple of big events coming up.
Yeah.
I know we were talking about the car show and bike show at the American Legion for Cody Jones, and because of the nasty weather last weekend, this past weekend they had to change it. So they rescheduled it to the 19th.
Okay.
So if you would like to see some great cars, see some motorcycles, meet some vendors,
All right.
some food, it's at the American Legion Hall on South Scenic,
Okay.
just south of Nathaniel Green Park. And then, of course, the Joe Rickman Memorial Concert
Yes.
is right around the corner. That's one that's near and dear to my heart.
Yes.
So we still have a couple sponsor tables available,
Okay.
which is a really affordable way to feature your business. However, we also have vendor tables available. You know, last year we had over 200 people, and I think just about every single one of them visited every vendor. And so,
See if
you
I
know,
can read the comment.
those are some great opportunities to get your business seen in a way that connects you with the community. So I've been talking to our artists, and they're all going to be reaching out to you to do some
Yeah.
interviews again, and just a lot of fun stuff, but really a lot of community happening there. Tickets are still on sale. You don't want to miss it. We're going to have, we have the I Love Tacos truck. The
I
doggy
saw that.
hot dog truck. I love tacos. Don't you love tacos? I think that's a great name for it. I love tacos. And then Vixen's Brew, I believe,
Cool.
is our
All
coffee
right.
truck. So we're going to have coffee and desserts, and mostly we're just going to have a lot of community connection. You're going to be able to come and support a great cause. 103 kids on the list in Southwest Missouri waiting for their wishes.
And if you come to the concert, you can help lower that number.
Exactly. Come to the concert. All of the money goes toward the kids. So, so many volunteers, so many people giving us their time to make this. So please come out and support the performers, support the kiddos waiting for those wishes. And you're going to hear some great stories. It's super fun and exciting. So we'd love to see everybody who can come there.
Yeah, sounds
That's
good.
April 26th.
All right.
It's
Right around the corner.
I know, right?
We'll remind you next time. We hope that you will watch us. Join us. You can come to Vino and participate.
Exactly.
Yeah, we would love to have some more folks come and tell us about your networking experience, or maybe you haven't even started networking and you're curious about it. Let's talk about that too. What are you afraid of? What makes you nervous? What are you looking for in a networking group?
You know, I met with a gentleman yesterday who was saying to me that he was interested in information about ING because he'd been searching for years now for a really good networking group that aligned with the way that he likes to do things. And I think that's so important, you know, to be surrounded by positivity, to have a complete foundation that is completely about the members and not about the people who volunteer to run it, not about anything except growing businesses, growing people in the community.
Yeah.
It's what I love about it.
Very good. Very good. All right. Learn more at inspiringnewgrowth.com. You can find out about the chapters, when they meet and where they meet at that website. There's also a Facebook page, so you can check that out. And you can join us on the lives. You can go back and watch the archives. And they're also, if you prefer just to listen or watch on YouTube, they're on all the platforms. So you can always link over from runitstudios.com. We will see you next time.
They're everywhere.
They're everywhere. Have a good afternoon. See y'all. Bye.
Bye.